Hey everybody, Big Jason. I'm here with John Angelachi, also known as John Angel. What's up, John?
How you doing, Jason?
Good. So, guys, if you don't, you may or may not know that, a mutual friend of ours, Scott Haines, Scott Mongo Haines, recently passed away, and his family's asked me to continue his legacy. So, I'm going to be updating his top selling shortcut copywriting secrets course, and version 2 is going to contain a ton of breakdowns on some of his hottest ads that some of his closest friends haven't even seen. And I was going through Scott's stuff and I found a receipt from a pretty famous name, and it was John's name. And so I reached out to you, John, and you said something that totally stuck out from a lot of other people. Not only did you say that, yes, you had his course, you paid for it, but that you are working for Agora currently, and you just finished writing a direct mail letter using one of Scott's ads as a template you modeled it after, and another 5-year control that you wrote, you used one of Scott's ads as well. So why don't you tell me about how you came upon Scott's course, what you thought of it, and why you're still using his stuff today?
Sure. So the first time that I came across Scott was, I want to say it was either 2000 or 2001. Gary Halbert had a copywriting seminar called How to Make Huge and Automatic Profits copywriting seminar. And at that time, he introduced Scott. I didn't go to the seminar. I bought the audio tapes, which was an interesting story because the audio tapes were actually not working very well. So I called Gary's office and I said, half these tapes, I can't hear what's going on them. And Gary ended up sending me How to Write a Sales Letter That Will Make You Rich. I think that was his 1996 seminar. But in any case, Scott was introduced on those audios, and then I had gotten some emails from him, and I got on his email list. And eventually, he came out with Shortcut Copywriting Secrets, and I bought it right away. And I basically did what Scott suggested. I went through his course chapter by chapter, and I found it to be, besides some of Gary's stuff, I found it to be the most concise way to learn to write direct response copy. And I had come across other courses, other books. When I used to sell real estate, tested advertising methods was one of the books that we used as examples of ads that we could model our stuff after. But Scott's course, I thought, was probably the best course I had run across, even to this day, on how to learn to write from the headline all the way through to the postscript. The exercises you need to do, and anybody who writes copy, whether you're doing it for a living or for your business, you can't really get good at it unless you know how to practice. It's like practicing an instrument, really, to some extent. And Scott's got all these great exercises in there that help you to hone your skills and to improve, and to also stay on top of what's actually working now, so you never get rusty, so to speak. So what ended up happening was, I think it was about 5-6 years ago, I had a client in a hypnosis niche, conversational hypnosis specifically, and they had a letter that had been working for, I want to say, 2 or 3 years at that time, and they asked me to go ahead and write a new letter for them. And their product was a great information product because it had all the elements you need to write the kind of letter that Scott would write. In other words, bullet laden with tons of benefit-rich bullets, great stories that you can include. A lot of Scott's letters are story copy combined with reason why. And I saw that as that product was perfect for that template. So what I did was I took Scott's letter that he wrote for his Shortcut Copywriting Secrets course, and I used it as a model. And basically, with my letter, I had story copy in the beginning, which is the way Scott started his letter out. And then we went into, I can't remember off the top of my head, I want to say that the hypnosis course had maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 modules, something like that. So we went into each module, we wrote tons and tons of bullets, and we picked out the best, I don't know, 10 to 15 for each module. And we structured the letter very similar to the way Scott did, and it's been a control now for, it's got to be over 5 years. I'm pretty certain it is.
Wow.
And I mean, they're still running. I don't know. I've lost touch with that client. I don't work with them anymore, so I don't know if they're trying to beat that control or not, but it's still running, and it's still selling.
Awesome. And what was the other ad that you used as a model?
So the other ad has not been tested yet. In fact, it hasn't even been edited. The version that I sent you was the first draft. But I was hired by a gentleman.
We don't need to mention his name.
We do not need to mention his name. That's fine. But it's in a specific niche market, the prepper market,
Yep.
and so he came out with this course on how he was able to essentially enter that market and make a fortune in it. And when I looked at his situation, what he had done, I immediately thought of the letter that I believe Scott wrote for Gary's 2001 copywriting seminar.
Yes.
And I took that letter out, I looked it over, and I was like, this would be a perfect fit. And again, it's a lot of bullet copy. There's a lot of story involved in it. And just also the way the offer was structured was also something that made sense in terms of using his template. And we went ahead and we put that together. As far as I know, the client's happy with it. We still have to edit it, and then we have to test it. But this is going to actually be a direct mail letter sent to the company's house list. So I'm pretty certain it's going to do okay.
Yes.
I'll probably do even better than okay. But from there, the idea is to see if it does well there. We're probably going to, the idea is to go ahead and rent lists and start testing those.
Awesome. So tell me, tragically Scott passed away, and I'm going to be updating his course and providing these breakdowns. What would you say to someone who's never had his course or never seen his sales letters? You're still using his sales letters today, and I talked to his longest running client who's still running 3 controls from Scott. One was from 14 years ago, and he still can't find someone to beat. So what would you tell someone if they have the opportunity to get Shortcut Copywriting Secrets version 2 and his hottest sales letters volume 2 and all the breakdowns?
Yeah, I think that, first of all, it just depends where you're at. In other words, if you're interested in improving your copywriting skills, or if you have a business and it's direct marketing oriented, you can't go wrong getting Scott's course. I mean, as you mentioned, I refer to it. In fact, here's a stack of 3x5 cards with headlines on them that I've been writing out, and it's one of the exercises he has in there. Gary Halbert also obviously taught that, but Scott goes into some detail about it, and so I actually use it not only to write the letters, but I use the exercises in there whenever I'm feeling a little off, so to speak, to go back and just kind of polish up on things. So you can't go wrong getting Scott's course, and I honestly think, again, I've got just about everybody's course out there. I think for learning how to improve your skills in copywriting, I've yet to see a better course. So, if there is one, I'll buy it. But this one's it for my money.
Awesome. So the ad we're about to break down is the actual sales letter Scott wrote for his own course. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. And what I like about it is, probably the majority of people coming to his sales letter are either Gary Halbert, they've read about Gary Halbert saying, hey, you need to get this course. Scott was my best student, and so on and so forth. Or somebody they really respect in copywriting says, you need to get this course. So what I like about this letter is, because I've seen a lot of case studies where people have oversold something or where they've undersold it. But this seems like the perfect, hybrid of, even though that most people come to this page are probably pretty rabid for copywriting information. They probably love Gary Halbert, but he definitely, listened to Gary when Gary would say a sale is a fragile thing.
Yeah, I would agree with you. And a point that you made that I think is really important is, you know, um, I think one of the reasons why this letter worked well is because of the strategy, which was to go after people who are rabid about copywriting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's part of strategy, and if that part wasn't on, even though the copy is great, it probably wouldn't have been as successful. So, I think that's an important lesson in and of itself. Secondly, the thing about this particular ad is because of now when I bought it, the sale was I was already pre-sold.
Right.
Okay, so I already knew about Scott and I knew what Gary thought of him, and that was really important to me, to be quite honest with you. But beyond that, when you get to this letter, if you are interested in copywriting, the headline just immediately has the combination of benefit and curiosity, which elicits interest, as Gary Bencivenga says. I mean, it's really perfect for anybody who's thinking, man, how can I learn how to write better copy? That headline really speaks to those people.
Right.
So I think that's one of the reasons why it works so well. But beyond that, I think Scott was really masterful in combining story copy and reason why. And I don't know, maybe it's all the Travis McGee books that he read, but his storytelling skills are pretty good.
Was this the letter that you modeled, used as a template for the conversational hypnosis control?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, this is it.
Awesome. So let's go ahead and get started and break this down.
Okay.
Hey, this is Big Jason Henderson. Again, at the request of Scott's family, I'm making Shortcut Copywriting Secrets version 2 and Scott's Hottest Sales Letters Volume 2 available soon. So if you want to get on the waiting list, go to shortcutcopywritingsecrets.com. And just for getting on the wait list, I'm going to give you a recording for part of an expensive Gary Halbert seminar that Scott attended. And you'll be automatically entered into a referral contest where you can win some hottest sales letters and ad breakdowns. Now, part of version 2 of Shortcut Copywriting Secrets is ad breakdowns of his hottest sales letters. And the copywriters doing these breakdowns with me are guys like John Carlton, David Deutsch, Paris Lampropoulos, Clayton Makepeace, David Garfinkel, Brian Kurtz, John Angelacci, John Angel, and many other top copywriters giving their time to honor Scott's memory. So this is Big Jason again. Thank you so much for helping me honor Scott's memory. Go to shortcutcopywritingsecrets.com. Get on the wait list for Shortcut Copywriting Secrets version 2. Get your Gary Halbert recording. Get into the referral contest, and I'll see you over there. Thanks.